And welcome back to Who Would Win. And this one comes up from Zion Z, who asked the question, who would win in a fight? Dracule Mihawk from One Piece versus Kenpachi Zaraki from Bleach. Now, should be noted that One Piece is still going on. And we don't know all of Mihawk's abilities. But that said, we know enough about him. So Dracule Mihawk is what is he referred to? A Shichibikuya? Anyway, he's a very powerful pirate. He's one of the most powerful pirates in the series, apparently. Able to take down 50 ships of 5,000 men by himself. Defeat all but 49 ships of 5,000 men by himself. Poor Stormstruck. He probably would have beaten the 50th without problems here. He's considered to be the best swordsman in the entire One Piece universe. He has excellent eyesight, able to track high-speed opponents with extreme precision and long-range slashing. He's an excellent teacher as well, very skilled in unarmed combat. The strength's so great, it's considered he may have a devil fruit, but that's not been proven that he has a devil fruit. Let's see, Luffy's he's shown to be able to resist things like Conqueror's Haki, which is essentially you enforce your will on something and they go unconscious to it, whatever. Physically, he is extremely powerful. He was able to basically cut through a mountain of ice with ease. Sword strike. He can also move with extreme precision and speed. Compressing air into slashes with massive range and large enough to split battleships and mountains of ice. Able to stop Zoro, a formidable swordsman with unarmed strength, with a single dagger he held in one hand. Swordsmanship, he's probably the single greatest swordsman alive in the One Piece world. There's really no one who can go toe-to-toe with him in terms of his swordsman skills. His swordsmanship is extremely versatile, from destroying entire fleets of ships and giant icebergs with immense power to being able to deflect bolts, the course of bullets and masterfully graceful with precision. He's also able to cut through steel with immense ease and swiftness and demonstrate a steel-bodied Mr. One. As demonstrated on steel-bodied Mr. One, who even Zoro struggled to defeat. His weapons, I believe it's his signature weapon, a pendant cross-shaped knife. That's not it hangs around his neck. Yeah, so basically he has a little cross-shaped knife. But his main weapon is Yoru. Wields the black sword Yoru, which is a curved black blade in the shape of a Latin cross, with a cross guard decorated by red cabochons, which are red, okay, and a hilt wrapped in bandages, particularly big, with a particularly big one at its extremity. When he accepts challenges for his title, he only draws display for those with enough spirit to earn Mihawk's respect, or enough power to present a threat. Otherwise, his dagger is sufficient. Is ornamentally decorated with a single carved human-sized sword, about 7 feet long. He does have haki in terms of protection haki and Kembusho haki. Is that perception? I think that's perception. That or is the shit? I know there's armament, there's conquerors, and there's observation, but these are all the Japanese terms for these hakis. So let's see now. Kenbushuko is the that's the perception haki, I'm pretty sure. Or mind rope. Oh, wait a minute. Is a form of haki that allows you to sense for it's the perception. Basically, he's kind of got like an ultra instinct vibe where he can sense where things are. And then the Bushoku haki is, one second here. Bushoku haki. I'm going to guess it's the armament haki, which is basically you coat yourself in armor and allows you to create the spirit to create, in essence, an invisible armor around themselves. Normally, it's going to hurt Logia users who can turn themselves into an element. Basically, he can harden his defense to be extremely hard to prevent damage, or he can harden his attacks, even his blade, and cut through stronger things. Kenpachi Zaraki is the captain of the 11th Division, designed primarily for combat. He's the 13th Kenpachi? Or the 9th Kenpachi. I can't remember which Kenpachi he is. He's in a long line of Kenpachis. The way you earn the title of Kenpachi, generally speaking, is to kill the former Kenpachi, which he did. And he did that twice, actually. He killed not only the Kenpachi that was in charge, but the first Kenpachi, Retsu Unohana, or Yajiro Unohana. He is considered probably the most proficient swordsman in the Soul Society. Normally only using one hand and only going to two hands when he feels he's going to possibly die, or using kendo. His spiritual energy, which could be considered kind of like hockey, but it can actually, affect the outside world, is, even by normal captain standards, extremely like by average captain standards, average captains can't stand up to Kenpachi in terms of just pure physicality. He's a living tank. Some say my mother was a trade, or I'm like a rejected Godzilla villain. But I'm the Kenpachi! If you ever watched Bleach Bridge. Get a little Andrew W. Clay going on here. Andrew W. Clay. You better get ready to die, cause here it comes. They play that in Bleach Abridged. Anyway, physically, he's physically powerful. Kenpachi is. He's not overly, most Bleach characters aren't overly physically powerful. They're well above human standards. They can, Kenpachi, though, we've seen, is strong enough to stop the foot of a giant and literally lift him and throw his ass. And he was technically still in Bankai when he did this. And basically grab the guy's foot, same giant, with just his fingers, and throw him to the ground with one arm. So Kenpachi is massively powerful and durable as hell. He can take a lot of punishment. Even when he's injured, he's pretty much like a berserker. He can just take damage and keep going. Only thing that will make him stop is the thought of actually dying. Like he got hit in the neck at one point, and he actually had to stop. He's like, if I keep going at this rate, I might actually really die. But I don't want to die. What can a dead man do? He can't fight anymore. Basically, yeah. And Kenpachi lives for combat. Kenpachi lives for fighting. Now, Kenpachi also is more or less kind of, he's not like book smart. He's combat and perception smart. He's very attuned, very perceptive when it comes to people. Knows how to figure out a weakness in someone. Can actually pick out character flaws. He's actually very good at that. And he was correctly picked out the two captains that were afraid to die. Figured out how Tozen's Bankai worked that cut off senses except for touch. Kenpachi is actually a very perceptive combatant. Kenpachi also has solid hand-to-hand combat skills, but he's not an expert. He's just kind of like brute strength and just overall skill. And he also has the Shikai Bankai. Originally, he never had that, but the writers decided, nah, let's get the fans something to be happy about. His Shikai is known as Nozarashi, or Drink Nozarashi, which I believe means Weathered Warrior. I could be wrong on that. It turns into basically a giant fuck-off cleaver axe that he wields with one. He can wield with both arms or one arm, and is capable of cutting through things like, you name it, he can almost cut through. The only thing he couldn't actually cut through was the shield of Gerard Valkyrie, and his sword he couldn't completely cut through. Excuse me. And I think that was just because of the nature of the weapons. And eventually he did cut through them with ease. But he can cut through things like actual space itself. He was when he was fighting against an opponent who could just summon things with their imagination. The opponent summoned actual space itself, like a vacuum of space, and he cut through it to get back into the real world. He cut through a meteor without any sort of issue whatsoever, with just a single swipe. It's an immensely powerful weapon. It is cumbersome, but he wields it with a lot of proficiency. And his Bankai has not been named, but it pretty much turns him into like an Oni, like a Kishin. He gets like horns, red skin. His blade kind of shrinks down more like to a broken-looking cleaver axe. And he's so strong that when Gerard, a giant, let's say I'm the giant, and Kenpachi is my little finger here. Yeah, that's good. I'm the giant, Kenpachi's the finger. Kenpachi, when the guy threw a full force punch, grabbed him with his mouth and ripped the arm out at the socket. And then just with a single slash, not even actually hitting him, the force of the slash cut him in half. It didn't beat him because the character could pretty much heal from anything. But ultimately, yeah, he beat the he's just pure, unadulterated power. But there's a catch to that. When the only time we saw him activate his Bankai in the series happened, it was too much for his body to handle, so it actually, like, his arm snapped apart. After 10 years, we can probably guess he learned to control it to some level. But ultimately, yeah, Kenpachi is one of the most strongest. I would say he is one of the strong, like top 10 strongest characters in Bleach. Definitely, he's one of the top 10. Top 5, like characters. That's tough about character. I don't think he'd be the top 5 characters in terms of overall power and all that. Anyway, this fight break goes down. Kenpachi is busy hunting hollows in the One Piece world. In the Mihawk, because of hockey and stuff like that, can perceive where Kenpachi is. They interact, and he tries to maybe impart it. I don't think he knows the Conqueror's hockey, but he maybe tries to use some intimidation. Kenpachi's like, "Oh, come on, is that all you got? No, let's have fun." Then let's have some fun. And then, he just comes down and brings the blade down. Mihawk gets out of the way, but he sees the power in Kenpachi. He's like, nope, dagger's not going to, I'm going to have to pull out the big boy. And he pulls it out, so they go toe-to-toe. Now, Kenpachi, I think, might actually have the better speed in terms of his actual swordplay, because he's only using one hand. Not to say that Dracule doesn't have speed with his blade, but he is wielding a 7-foot monster blade. Kenpachi's sword is also longer than your average blade, but Kenpachi's also a huge dude. So there is that. So they're going toe-to-toe for a while. I mean, he's imparting some Conqueror's hockey on him. The sword doesn't cut, but it does. Kenpachi feels the power on that. And the force of it actually does slash him a bit. It's like, I see you want to really play rough. I'm fine. Drink Nozarashi. And then, boom. He immediately goes into Nozarashi. Comes out, and Mihawk sees this giant cleaver. He's not really phased because his eyesight's good because he saw where Kenpachi was coming from and all that. He blocks the blade. The blade actually gets a nick on it. Probably because he doesn't have Conqueror's hockey or Armament hockey embelled in the blade at the moment. The fact he sees a nick in his blade actually gives him pause to concerns. Like, this guy's this strong? Has he actually cut my blade? Okay, gets the Armament hockey back on. Let's go round 2. They go toe-to-toe. He tries to block Nozarashi with the Armament hockey. I'll tell you right now, I don't think that would work. If not, he maybe doesn't get his arm cut off. Maybe he even feels the blade. Kind of like how, if you watched Bleach, Niatora acted when Kenpachi actually did cut him. Like, it's like he actually has to, damn! It's like he actually cut through me. And then he swings the blade around, tries to do the trick where he swinging around where he cut the blade, but Nozarashi damage, he keeps catching on him. Nozarashi can't cut through his blade now, he thinks of the Armament hockey, and then he tries to maybe throw some hits into Kenpachi, but Kenpachi's pretty much, you need someone a lot tough. Mihawk's powerful in his own world, but you need someone a lot tougher than Mihawk in One Piece. The Anko are a group of people. What's his name? The guy who turns into a dragon. He would probably, if we found out all of his abilities and how strong he really was, he might be an actual physical match for Kenpachi, like legitimately. I can't remember that guy's name. Point being though that they go toe to toe again, and it's just one thing. It keeps dragging on. The fight's dragging on, and both these guys aren't really getting tired. But Mihawk can tell Kenpachi has more energy to spare. Kenpachi actually has energy, so he again tries doing like a slash of compressed air with the blade. Kenpachi just powers up his aura, just boom, and just kind of counteracts that, and he just throws a slash down, and just an energy wave comes near Mihawk. Mihawk gets out of the way. Kenpachi though grabs it and says, where do you think you are going? And boom, just throws him to the ground. Mihawk's like, oh crap. He just gets up, like, dusts off. Okay, let's go again. And this time he actually gets in Kenpachi's guard, surprising Kenpachi, delivering a solid slash onto Kenpachi. And then basically delivers the blade through Kenpachi's guard. It's like, ugh! It's like, you were a worthy opponent, but it's over now. And then Mihawk's like, huh? And then Kenpachi grabs it, tries to grab him, but he has his hockey on. Grabs the blade instead, so he can't pull the blade out, so he just lets Kenpachi have the blade inside. It's like, freaking great, haven't had a fight like this in a long time. Just pulls the blade out, and says, here, you're gonna need this. It's like, Bankai! And then he just goes Bankai, turns into a Kishin. He's still got the injuries on him, I imagine. Though they're probably healing up to some degree. And now Mihawk is actually feeling like this guy an actual demon. What is this guy? And Kenpachi just comes in, just slashes at Mihawk, and Mihawk, again, arm and hockey, all that, and he's not cut in half, but he's cut, and his blade's he sees his blade's not fully cut through, but it's close. Like, what the hell is he? And he's like, I got to get out of here now. So he basically just kind of like does a dust storm to get out of the way with his blade hitting the ground. Just tries to get out of the way. He's bleeding. He's not in good shape right now, even with armament hockey. Kenpachi will probably just cut Levi's through that. And Kenpachi just, yeah. And then Kenpachi eventually just appears in front of him. It's like, yeah. And then chink, just slice him up. And he's like, ah. And then he's just kind of cut like that. Oh, shit. And then, well done, greatest in the world. Basically passing his title on to Kenpachi now. Kenpachi, who let's just for fair sake say, maybe has a little bit sense like, just when it was good. And then powers down and walks away. Kenpachi wins this fight on sheer power alone. We've seen a lot of feats from Mihawk, from what I can tell. But not enough to know what his true power is. He's probably stronger than even what we've seen. Kenpachi, we've seen everything. And Kenpachi has done easily the same equivalent feats as Mihawk, if not greater, like cutting a meteor as opposed to a mountain. So ultimately, I got to go with Kenpachi. My battery's running low, so I'm going to wrap this up. But is there a way Mihawk wins? If Mihawk can get a solid cut on the neck with arm and hockey and all that, sure, but I think Kenpachi's just going to power through that most of the time and avoid it most of the time. So I'm going to go about 80% Kenpachi. I'll give a solid 20 to Mihawk. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you folks next time. Ideas for who to win, Star Wars, Superhero, Magic, what if? Let me know in the comments below. I got to put this on the chart before it craps out of me.